Oh my goodness, I have two Purple Hearts. One in May of 1967. We were on a patrol. Mortar rounds landed all around us, and I got a piece of shrapnel in the left leg. Later, at that time I was with the Frontline Infantry Unit, 2nd of the 12th Infantry of the 4th Infantry Division. It then switched over to 3rd Brigade of the 25th Infantry Division. Same people, same group, just switched patches. At that point, I was moved in as a battalion commander's radio operator and bodyguard, if you want to call it that. And he eventually left country, and I was reassigned to a chaplains group. Chaplains, a particular chaplain kind of lost his mind a little bit and was shipped out. And at that point, in 1968, was reassigned to a unit in a forward area called Fire Support Base Burt, and that's where I got my second wound. And that was a piece of shrapnel in the top of the left eye, and ended up at, they call it the Coochie, which was the 45th Medical Evac Hospital. So Fire Support Base Burt was a overrun situation, and it was a dramatic time. After the eye injury, I ended up staying at base camp, and all I did was work with the Vietnamese people, because I learned how to speak Vietnamese somewhat, and moving them around base and cleaning buildings and that type of thing, and then RO'd back home.
What did you find around pretty much when you came home? What was it like when you got out of the service?
It was a little hectic, to say the least. In fact, when we landed in Oakland, California, there were a bunch of people at the airport said, "We're not going to let the baby killers off the airplane." There was a captain, I don't remember his name. At the time, I was a sergeant. And so we got off the airplane and approached these groups, says, "Who's your leader?" And we don't have leaders here. You know, babies go back to Vietnam and blah, blah, blah. So he just simply said, "Here's the deal. I've got 100+ combat veterans on that airplane. If you don't make a hole, I'll let them off the airplane and they'll make their own hole." So they opened up and let us off the airplane, but it was a little hectic at times. I didn't drink because of the old guard. One of the things was you don't drink. And I ended up going to a couple of bars with friends of mine, and it just got to be fight and all that. And I didn't fight either. Got out of the area. So I said, I don't need this, and became a recluse, primarily as a forest ranger at a place called Fontenelle Forest Nature Center in Nebraska. So that's where I ended up right out of Vietnam. It is really familiar because every single night, I start at night when I go to sleep, I'm going over my head what's going on in Vietnam. And eventually, in fact, I don't even go to bed till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to be dead tired before I get in bed so that I don't have to go through these flashback ideas and things. So it's strange that there are other people, I'm sure, who do the same process. So, but you don't hear about them, you don't talk about them. You do your own thing and make it work.
Even after 45 years.
Even after 45 years. When you find somebody who was not in a combat zone, who has never been involved in combat, it's difficult to explain to them what goes through your head and what goes through your thinking. So those people, we kind of stand off, leave a little arm length from those people, but those that have been there, those that understand what you're going on, they get it, and they don't want to talk about it either. But when you get them one-on-one, then you can say, you start out with laughs, jokes, and things that have happened, and then you get into the deeper stuff, and it's interesting dynamic.